Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Telescope Podcast. Thank you for listening.
What's up, everybody? Everyone in this place, if you could do a handstand, I want to see your feet up in the air right now. Wave them around, that's right. Woo!
Hello, welcome to the Telescope Podcast, the show where we look at geek culture through the spyglass of faith. This is Matthew Seipel Anderson. So happy to be here recording a podcast, having some fun. This episode is going to be some of my thoughts on Avengers Infinity War, which is coming out in May, I believe. Before I do that, though, I want to mention that the beginning of the show, there is this little thing, hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Telescope Podcast. Thank you for listening. And that is created by this app, and I'm actually not prepared. I'm looking on my phone to find it. It's called Hawking Synthesizer, and it's this iPhone app where you can type in text, and it creates like an imitation of Stephen Hawking's synthesized voice. And Stephen Hawking recently passed away, so just had to mention that on the show, that he was a great mind, well respected in the scientific community, and I'm sure will be missed. Unfortunately, I don't think he was a believer. He wrote a book called The Grand Design, where I should listen to it. Just from what I read, I listened to some reviews and some other people talking about it, but it sounds like in a nutshell, his theory was that the laws of physics are sufficient to explain the appearing of the universe. And there's, been a number of responses, as there always are. There's people who write counter books, although they're never as popular, because Hawking has such a big name. But there's a guy named John Lennox who I really like, and he is a part of Ravi Zacharias' team, and he's a professor. I think he's got like 3 PhDs. I'm not even sure. Anyway, he's got a book called Whose Design Is It Anyway? So it'd be kind of interesting to listen to those back to back. If I do, I will definitely report. I'm going on vacation today, and I'm excited. Or not today, excuse me. Getting ready for vacation, going on vacation tomorrow. So it's been a very busy month. So anyway, let's just dive right into Avengers Infinity War. Now, the big question in this movie is who will die? We already know that Thanos is going to get the Infinity Stones. I'm assuming he's going to get all of them. Maybe not. Maybe he won't get all of them. It's loosely based on the comic series where he does get all of them. But, maybe in this incarnation he won't. I'm not sure. But anyway, we know that a whole lot of people are going down. So there's all these, videos on YouTube, and I'm kind of coming late to the game here, bringing this thing. I got to just take a sidestep for a second. Right now, I wish I was recording a show about Black Panther. I've tried to see Black Panther twice. The first time my wife and I went, right after opening weekend, it opened Thursday or Friday. Maybe there were like night showings on Thursday, and then Friday was the first day, and then Saturday. And I think we went to see it on a Sunday evening, and it was sold out, which is great, because it means they made a lot of money. The movie was a big success. But so that was kind of a bummer, so we didn't see it that night. And then we were all set up with childcare. If you got kids out there, that's like key to going to see a movie is childcare. So we had our childcare all lined up, and then our daughter got sick. So we ended up, just canceling the night and staying home. So I have still not seen Black Panther, and I don't dare go see it by myself because my wife really wants to see it. So, you just know what battles to pick, Anyway, so I've been just looking at trailers and thinking and doing some my little research. And so here's my thoughts about Avengers Infinity War. I do not want to predict who's going to die because anyone could die. I mean, it's totally up in the air. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, everybody is predicting who's going to die. So I'm going to go ahead and go the opposite direction, and I'm going to predict who will survive. And I've got 5 people that I think will survive. And I didn't put a ton of thought into this, admittedly, but just off the top of my head, I think these people are going to make it through the film, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Chime in, through Facebook or email me. But here we go. So who will survive Avengers Infinity War? Number 1, Groot. Now you might think, oh, that's a cop-out, because it's not a very risky one. But here's the thing. Groot is kind of like a cute puppy. Although he may be a teenager by this point, I don't know. Maybe in the deleted scene of the last Guardians of the Galaxy, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, they showed Groot as a teenager, hinting where they're going. So maybe Groot will be a teenager and he'll be a nasty teenager, and I'll be happy to see him get blown away, if he's snotty or something. But I doubt it. Groot is a very enduring character. He's kind of a Chewbacca type character, and I predict he will survive. Although if they did kill him, it could be very heart-rending. So, maybe that is a possibility. But I predict he lives. Number 2, possibly all the Guardians of the Galaxy will live. Just because I don't think they're quite done with them. That's kind of my basis, honestly, is I don't know. I'm not thinking as much about the stories. I'm just thinking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and where the characters are like in their life cycle. And I could see the Guardians of the Galaxy being around in the post-Infinity War Marvel Universe. So although it would make sense for them maybe to kill off, one of them, because it would give this emotional weight then, for that little band of characters, it would give this emotional push for them to fight hard, and it'd be real emotional. So, maybe that new female character with the black eyes and the antennae on her head, she could die. Maybe the raccoon character. See, I can't even remember his name. That's terrible. But, maybe he dies. I don't know. Maybe Star-Lord dies. But I predict the Guardians of the Galaxy fare pretty well in this movie. Number 3, Spider-Man. Spider-Man will not die because the new Spider-Man is awesome. Audiences love him. And I believe there's a whole bunch of Spider-Man movies planned. They're calling it the Spider-Verse. And so they are definitely not going to kill Spider-Man. His character is way too lovable, and they just gave him a fresh start. And so there's no way he's going to die. Number 4, Doctor Strange. This one's, I'm going a little more out on a limb. Doctor Strange isn't necessarily a major character, and they definitely could kill him. He is a character that is guarding an Infinity Stone. So it could very well be that in Thanos' work to collect these stones, maybe he does off Doctor Strange, but I just think there's something about Doctor Strange. He's a character that hasn't been fully explored yet. It's just kind of coming into his full strength, and he's the type of character who can play both the hero role and the mentor role. So I don't think they're going to get rid of good old Stephen Strange. I don't think so. I think he may be defeated, but I think I could see him playing a strategic role as the saga of the Infinity Wars goes forward, especially if some of the other characters who are more traditionally in the lead, like an Iron Man, a Captain America, Thor, Hulk, those legacy characters, I guess you could call them. If and when those guys start to fall off, I could see Doctor Strange coming to the forefront and being a leader. So I don't think they're going to kill him. Could be wrong, been wrong before, but that's just my prediction. Number 5, this one's a no-brainer, Black Panther. No way they're killing Black Panther. He just had his debut, in his own standalone, and it was a smash. And he's a new character, and Wakanda and that whole culture and that whole world brings this fresh new element in, and so there's no way they're gonna kill that off, just as they're starting to explore it and bring him out. So he is definitely gonna survive and play a big role in this story arc and in the future. Number 6, and this is my final one that I wrote down, and there's a big question mark by it, and that is Bucky. If anything, I could see him basically replacing Captain America. And I think that maybe happened in the comic books. I'm not an expert. I'm not a lore master when it comes to these, Avengers, Captain America, all this stuff. But I think he'll live. They're just bringing him back. Okay, I got to confess. I went on YouTube and I looked up the post-credit scenes for Black Panther. I couldn't help myself. I had to do it. Particularly because I wanted to do this episode and I wanted to know the things in Black Panther that maybe pertained to Infinity War that might, help me put the pieces together. So I did sneak a little on Black Panther that way, but in the post-credit scene where Bucky is brought back out and they show that they've restored him to his right mind, I think a really cool story arc and one that makes a lot of sense is for him to come back, for Captain America to die, and then Bucky has this emotional weight or this responsibility on him to take up Captain America's mantle and take his place as a good guy, and it's kind of, that would be the full circle of his redemption, from hero to villain to just messed up, guy that you feel bad for, to being restored to then like having this glorious destiny of being a hero. I don't know. I think that would be cool, and I could definitely see that happening. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that's what's going to happen. Now, one final thought. I could be wrong about all these, but because of the massive power of the Infinity Gauntlet and all those stones, these characters could be resurrected. They could go back in time and save them. So they literally could kill every character, and then in the second film, when the story arc is completed, by the end of the second film, they could literally have all the characters resurrected and be back. So, I guess it's really, who knows what's going to happen. They can literally go in any direction here. So we'll just have to see what happens. So I'm going to call that quits. Thanks so much for listening to the Telescope Podcast. This is Matthew Seipel Anderson. If you want to connect with me, you can email me at mysaviorsanthem@gmail.com. You can go to my website, www.mysaviorsanthem.com. And I don't know, I'm on Twitter, MSA_music. I don't use Twitter much. Anyone use Twitter? Hit me up. I'm like on the verge of deleting my Twitter. I go on there and then like I browse and I find some interesting stuff and I'm like, I guess I'll hang on to Twitter. But I don't know, I just don't use Twitter that much. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Who knows? You only have so much time, Anyway, thanks so much for listening, and I can't wait to do the next episode and be back with y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.